wackier, more open. It had more dunking. It had the three-point shot. It had that wacky, multicolor, polycolor ball.
Red and white blue ball had a lot of flash to it. You know, once you let it go, you know, you can watch it spin. You can see the ball spinning in the air and hit the nets.
It's all about running and gunning and shooting more times than you. Our whole theory was, if we shoot 100 times, we shooting 130.
There was a flair on the court. I think the coaches recognized the talent of the young players and allowed a style of play that was much different than the typical NBA style.
As the ABA tried to gain a foothold in the sports world, two of its top teams were the Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs, led by a young guard named George Gervin, who had come to be known as the Iceman.
You know, I was 19 years old when I joined the pros, so, you know, I was a young man, and, you know, the game was fast, so, you know, we pushed the ball up the floor every time down, every opportunity we could, and, you know, and to me, that's how you play basketball.
They call him the Iceman, and that's because he is so smooth and so cool and a great offensive ball player.
Well, the scoring title is secondary to me because I didn't already had it 3 times, so, you know, what is there left? All I want now is a championship, and if it's to sacrifice in my scoring ability to get a championship, then I'm willing to do that.
During their early years, the Spurs had a winning team and experienced some playoff success, but they were never able to get a championship ring for the Iceman. The team that dominated the ABA was the Indiana Pacers. During the early 1970s, the Pacers won 3 championships in 4 years. They were guided by their fiery coach, Bob Slick Leonard.
Ceruno, let's go, baby. They banked off the board and off the rim. Yes, sir.
Well, any championship team is special. Those are things you never forget. We won the first one in 1970, came back and won back-to-back in 72-73. So that was a good basketball team by any standard. I don't go this ABA, NBA stuff.
Led by their superstars George McGinnis and Mel Daniels, the Pacers not only won titles, they won the hearts of Indiana fans and were part of the fabric of the community.
Indiana's always demonstrated great class. They assembled terrific teams here, played basketball the right way. I think they were way ahead of their time and certainly could have played in the NBA.
Once you walk down those tunnels together, playing for a title, those are friendships that are lifelong lasting.
And now, 2 decades after the ABA played its final game, a new chapter is being written. 2 of its former teams have carried the banner for a league that's gone, but certainly not forgotten.
And for the first time ever, the Spurs are going to the NBA Finals.
You know, it's a long time coming, but those 2 franchises, I think, make me proud because of my association with that league. Again, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about this. That league gave me an opportunity to do what I love to do. And there are a lot of guys that can sit here and say the very same thing and would say it with the same kind of feelings I have.
Here comes Gervin, the Iceman, driving.
To be, you know, represented, you know, by our club, you know, in the NBA Finals, it would be something special.
It would be special. There's no question about that. And I'm sure all those old ABA players around the country are pulling for an ABA team, an ABA city to get into the World Championship Series.
While the red, white, and blue ball is long gone, the ABA's legacy lives on in other ways, most importantly with the three-point shot, adopted by the NBA in 1979.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
And Will Jones flank him at the forwards. Dampier and Averett at the guards, and the tip is controlled by Kentucky. Colonels are down by 19 as play begins in the second half. Averett, a stutter step on Freddie Lewis, puts on the brakes, gives to Will Jones. Down low Gilmore, they'll look for him. He lays it in. 62-45. Gilmore is in double figures, the first Colonel to reach it with 11 points. The Spirit lead is 17. Lewis right baseline against Dampier. The jump is good, and he gets it right back. 64-45, 4 points for Freddie. Averett comes back the other way. Boone draws the defensive assignment. Averett shovels it out to Dampier. Dampier is watched by Freddie. Back to the Bird. Inside for Gilmore. Deflected by Carr. The ball is loose, but Lucas picks it up. Fires it low for Will Jones. Intercepted by Marvin Barnes. He gets it out to Freddie Lewis. Carr was breaking back ahead of the field, but they couldn't get the handle in time to get in the ball. Here is Marvin driving and laying it in off a pass from Ron Boone. A bounce pass as Marvin cut through the lane. He has scored 19, and Boone picks up his 5th assist. A beauty. Dampier in three-point country. Right corner, Will Jones. Low again for Gilmore. Triple team out to Dampier. Long one-hander is good. 66-47. 6 for Louis, and again a 19-point St. Louis lead. Lewis across the line on the left against Louis Dampier, bringing the dribble left to right. Bullets right corner for M.L. Carr. He drives, deflected away by Will Jones, and a foul on Wilbert Jones. Carr was trying to take it laterally across the lane. Will Jones picks up personal number 3, team foul number 1 in the third quarter. Carr inbounds to Boone, back to ML. Puts it on the floor, takes it to the side, then holds up, bounces for CJ, who didn't expect it, and it is stolen away by Gilmore. Gilmore gives to Averett. Averett brings the dribble right up the middle, flips it off to Dampier. Louis in the lane for Lucas. He puts it up and hits. Lucas off the glass from Dampier. We've played a little bit less than 2 minutes in the third period, and the Spirits lead 66-49. Lucas has scored 9. The Spirits up by 17. Lewis side of the circle to Boone, who leads the league in three-point shooting. Doesn't put up the 25-footer this time. Side of the lane, CJ works against Gilmore with the running hook that is short. The rebound bounces out to the Bird. He comes quickly around Marvin Barnes to the front court, down the lane, dishes off for Gilmore in a crowd. He goes up and misses. The rebound bounces out to Marvin. He looks for help and throws out to Boone. Booner across the line on the right, accelerates around Averett for the short one-hander. That is good. Went right by the Bird, then put on the brakes and popped in about a 6-footer. 68-49. Spirits again by 19, which was their halftime edge. Out of the right corner, Will Jones. Giving him room, M.L. Carr. Back to Dampier, watched by Lewis. He swings up high to Averett. Bounces to Lucas in the lane against Marvin. Puts it on the floor, then holds up, has it knocked away in a foul. Boone and Barnes were both there. Boone in front of him, Barnes behind him. Lucas was looking to put Marvin in the popcorn machine, as Chick Hearn likes to say out in Los Angeles, where you go with the head fake and try to get the guy going up and down. Marvin was not going for any of the fakes, but Boone eventually committed the foul. It will be Colonel Ball out of bounds from underneath the basket. And now they're going to say put it in play from the side. And Averett is the trigger man. And it goes to Will Jones, back to the Bird. He bounces off to Dampier, hand checked by Freddie Lewis. 9:20 to play in the quarter. Down low, Lucas. He banks it up inside. It's no good. The rebound is taken by M.L. Carr. He flips it out to Ron Boone against Averett to the baseline. He spins. He feeds out to Freddie. Foul line one-hander is in and out. The rebound is kept alive inside momentarily by Carr, but coming out with it is Gilmore. He bounces out to Averett. Averett hustles to the front court at the foul line, whirls around and throws it away. Dampier, though, tries to save it in, but can't, as he stepped out of bounds, trying to get off his saving pass. Averett whirling around and finding his path blocked through the desperation pass, just trying to get rid of it to Dampier, but Louis could not keep it in. Spirit ball inside, 9 minutes to play in the third. Back to the basket, high post CJ, hand checked by Gilmore, whirls around him, takes it to the hoop and lays it in. Good move by CJ.
CJ's very quick for a man that size. He can drive to the basket. He should be able to go around Artis Moore.
He has scored 14 points. The Spirits lead by 20-49. Averett midway between the sidelines. Will Jones top of the key. Low post Gilmore, back to Jones. Baseline one-hander is short with the line drive shot. Collecting the carom, Caldwell Jones. He gives to Freddie Lewis. Lewis right up the middle. He's got daylight. Takes it down for the floater. It is good. It counts, and he is fouled on the play. 6 for Freddie. He'll go to the line. This could be a three-point play, as he has the basket and one, the personal on Louis Dampier. Before Freddie shoots the free throw, Hubie Brown says, boys, let's talk it over. 8:22 to play in the third period with the score. The Spirits 72 and the Colonels 49, and this is Spirits basketball.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Eight minutes and 22 seconds showing on the third quarter clock at Freedom Hall in Louisville. Bob Costas along with Arlene Weltman and the Spirits of St. Louis leading the Kentucky Colonels by 23 points at 72-49, and Freddie Lewis is going to have a chance to add a digit to that side of the scoreboard as he looks to complete the back end of a three-point play. If you're watching on the TV side, the official with his back to you there, number 22 is Joe Belmont, who used to be the coach of the Denver Rockets when they were known as the Rockets before changing their name prior to last season to the Nuggets. And there are those who contend that Mr. Belmont, who is a Denver resident, should never officiate a game involving the Nuggets. But he does often find himself calling the plays when the Nuggets are on the floor. The free throw is good by Freddie Lewis. At the other end, our TV viewers had a good view of the play as Will Jones dropped the ball underneath the basket as the Colonels came back. But ML Carr, who had fallen down, was out of bounds and the ball rolled onto ML's body. So the Colonels inbound from the side. Gilmore, baseline to Will Jones. A turnaround is good. Nice move by Will Jones.
Will has used his height advantage over ML quite well tonight.
73-51. Jones has scored half a dozen, and we get a whistle, and we're going to get a palming violation against Freddie Lewis as he took the ball around Louis Dampier outside.
Freddie can't believe it. He's saying, what'd he call? What'd he call?
Dampier bounces it into Averett. Exactly 8 minutes to play in the quarter. The Spirits by 21. They sound the charge horn here at Freedom Hall to try and get the fans going, and in turn the Colonels going. Carr goes for a steal on Jones, doesn't get it. Boone takes Jones on a switch. That leaves Carr on Averett. The Bird gives to Lucas. He drives the lane, throw it up lefty, and good.
Very tough play by Lucas.
73-53. The Spirits by 22 before, not by 21. My math a little bit lacking. Now by an even 20 with 7:30 to play in the quarter. Here is Carr in the lane. Marvin, the one-hander. Bang! Marvin fell down as he was pushed by Will Jones, but no foul. Dampier comes out. 75-53, gives to Averett. Colonel's down by 22. He hands to Will Jones. Long jump, way off the mark. Rebound bounces to Dampier at 6 feet. He brings the dribble back outside. Bounces off to Averett. Lets go of a three-pointer, and he misses it. The rebound swatted around in the lane, and we are going to get a rebounding foul against Marvin Barnes, and that will be personal number 4 on Movin Marvin, who has scored 21 points.
Unless you're an artist, Gilmore, with that kind of height advantage, that's an automatic call when you get a rebound going up over someone, and yet mark him at all, because I had a very clear view of that, but it's an automatic foul.
Kentucky ball on the side. Lucas, a one-hander from 18, won't go. Will Jones rebounds. A hook is up and good. Will Jones with a little hook shot off the glass.
I don't understand why they're not going to artist. He hasn't seen the ball except maybe twice this quarter. Usually he's the man that brings them in unless they feel he's not playing well tonight, not feeling well.
Barnes from 20 over Lucas, and he hits it. Marvin was just holding the ball side of the circle, and Lucas watching him anticipating a move, and Marvin all of a sudden, after holding it there for a few seconds, just let it go without making any move at all, and it fell through. He scored 23. Averett, a stutter step around Boone, a baseline drive. It is short, but it is tipped in by Lucas. So Lucas immediately gets back the bucket he gave up to Marvin Barnes, and it is a 20-point St. Louis lead at 77-57 with 6:15. Boone to the line, down the lane, dishes out to Freddie, but we get a whistle. An offensive foul is called on the Booner. I would anticipate there is no announcement. That is my assumption.
Has to be.
It will be Colonel ball from the side, and Jack Madden is walking over to the scorer's table, try and set them straight on the call here. Let's pause for a moment.
Now it's time for a cold stag. Sit back with a cold stag and enjoy the game. Stag beer, you've got a good thing going. Going Stag. Stag beer.
And they make the announcement that it is a player control foul, number 3 on Ron Boone, and we get a quick whistle as Kentucky puts it back in play, and Marvin Barnes is going to be called for his 5th as he bumped Lucas, who was jumping up to receive a pass in the front court. Joe Mullaney does not like that one bit, and he immediately indicates that Moses Malone should go into the game, which Moses does, to replace Marvin Barnes, who leaves with 5 fouls. He also scored 23 points. And Marvin tells Mullaney he never touched him as he comes to the bench. Kentucky inbounds. Gilmore low post. He fakes. He goes up and has the easy one on CJ. 13 for the Big A. 77-59. That moves Kentucky to within 18 with 5:55 to play in the third. The Spirits have never won a game in 11 tries at Freedom Hall. High post CJ. Hand check by Gilmore. Foul line one-hander is good. One dribble, leaned into him. Gilmore gave ground, and that left CJ with some room as he put on the brakes for the jumper.
CJ should be able to score as long as the rest of the team clears out.
Gilmore taking a nice pass inside from Will Jones and dunking it as Joe Mullaney protests that he pushed CJ from position and should have been called for a foul. 79 to 61, an 18-point Spirit lead, and now Gilmore has a steal. He gives to Dampier. Dampier against Freddie. Stop side of the circle. Way up high, Averett as they look to set it up. Back to Dampier. Right corner, Will Jones. Low post for Gilmore. Into the corner, Dampier, but Freddie is right with him. Starts a dribble to the foul line. Up high, Averett. 24-foot jumper. Is off the back of the rim, and the rebound line drives out to Freddie at the foul line. He pushes the dribble to the front court. Down the lane, to the line, to the lane, to the hoop. Put it up, put it in. I promised a friend of mine that I would do that during the course of the broadcast. Here is Lucas with a hook through the lane. Joe Tate, the broadcaster of the Cleveland Cavaliers, always says that. To the line, to the lane, to the hoop, put it up, put it in. And I wanted to see if I could do it.
That
and it's very difficult.
Cleveland, right?
Hey, Cleveland's a heck of a city.
That's my husband's
and Tate's
hometown.
a heck of a broadcaster. There's been a guy who's been encouraging me for 2 years to say on a three-pointer, he twinkled the twine from 29. But I have yet to lower myself to that. As CJ misses a left-hand hook, and it bounces out to Gilmore. He gives to Averett. Averett baseline with the jump. It is off the back of the rim. Gilmore snatches the rebound down and stuffs it. Now Kentucky moves to within 16. At 81 to 65, with 4:11 to play in the third period, and the Spirits want a timeout. This is Spirits of St. Louis basketball.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Spirits of St. Louis being talked to by their head man, Joe Mulaney. And Mulaney is cautioning them against a repeat of Sunday's performance, where at just about this juncture, maybe a little more time remaining in the third period, the Spirits held what they hold now, a 16-point lead, and dissipated that in short order and ended up losing it in overtime. What a game Marvin Barnes played despite the defeat. 49 points and 17 rebounds, including the game tire at the end of regulation as Freddie Lewis came up short on a three-point try, a desperation heave, and Marvin grabbed the air ball under the basket and put in a reverse layup at the buzzer to force overtime. And that only prolonged the agony, as it turned out, as the Spirits absorbed a heartbreaking defeat. Enter Kevin Joyce and Johnny Newman in the backcourt for Kentucky. Their front line remains the same. For the Spirits, Lewis and Boone are the guards. Malone has replaced Barnes, who scored 23 points but committed 5 fouls. The other forward is M.L. Carr. The center is Caldwell Jones. The ball belongs to the Spirits. They lead 81-65. We come up to 4 minutes to play in the third period. Freddie way up high. In the lane for Moses. Backing on Lucas. They call him for steps.
They took a long time to make the call. I think he had taken 8 before they blew the whistle.
So the Colonels, who are making a mild move, down by 16 now after trailing by as many as 23, have the ball and a chance to cut it to 14. Lucas throws way up high to Will Jones. He is watched by M.L. Carr. Holds it high in the lane, Lucas. He spins on Malone with the finger roll. It's no good. It's taken by Gilmore, and he doesn't miss that. Artis Gilmore from about 6 inches. 81-67 to within 14 creep the Colonels. Here is the Booner. Way up high, three-point territory. Freddie Lewis, watched by Joyce, stutter step at the foul line. He fakes him off his feet, pops the jumper, banks it in, good account, and a foul. Freddie made a very good play. He knew he had Joyce off his feet. He knew Joyce was going to foul him. He lunged inside, trying to draw the three-point play. Hit a tough bank shot. Joyce did eventually come down, as he had to, on his back and fouled him. So Freddie has a chance for his second three-point play in the past couple of minutes, and has it, as he hits the free throw. 84-67. Freddie, who had scored only 2 at the half, has now scored 12, enjoying a 10-point third period. Highlighted by 2 three-point plays. Up high, Kevin Joyce. He's got daylight, he's got the jumper, and he misses it. The rebound bounces out to CJ. Hands to Freddie. Cross court, ahead for Boone. He dishes off to Carr, who lays it up. It was blocked from behind by Lucas, and they say, give the 2 points to M.L. Carr, score the goal. A goaltending violation on Lucas as he trailed the play. Spirits getting out quickly once again and stealing the bucket.
ML did the same. It must have been the same feeling I had. I thought he was fouled, but I wasn't really sure it was goaltending. And ML walked straight to the line to take his foul shot.
Exactly 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Spirits have opened it up to 19 again from 86 to 67. Here is Lucas, guarded by Malone. Behind him is Boone, and Boone cuts in front of Newman on a good defensive play and intercepts Lucas's pass. Now the Booner has trouble with the dribble and stolen right back by Newman at midcourt. Newman to the foul line, bounces to Jones, back to Newman, laid up, blocked by CJ. And it comes out to Boone. He hands to Freddie Lewis. Spirits to the front court. Right corner Malone, drives the baseline, taken inside and a foul. Malone will be at the line. Boone and CJ. Malone will not be at the line. An offensive foul on Moses. Player control foul on Moses Malone, and it goes back to Kentucky. As I started to note that Boone and CJ had made back-to-back excellent defensive plays for the Spirits. Boone with the steal and CJ with the block, but to no avail as Moses is called for the charge. Here is Newman driving, dishing to Gilmore, who from about 6 feet goes up and over the bucket for the dunk. 2:15 to play in the quarter. 86 to 69 is the score, and we get a 20-second injury timeout called as Ron Boone appears to be shaken up. The Booner, of course, is an Iron Man. Well over 700 consecutive games played, has not missed a game dating back through high school. Never missed a high school game, a college game, or a pro game of any kind. He holds the ABA record for consecutive games played, and in about a season and a half, he will close in on the all-time pro record held by the former NBA star Johnny Kerr.
I may be wrong, but it looked to me like Ron was trying to go around a pick that Artis had set and tripped over Artis's knee, whether Artis threw his knee out or Ron made a mistake, I don't know, or at least I won't say.
Spirit trainer Mike Kostic sprays it with a little of that ethyl chloride, the freezing solution, and the Booner is ready to go. He has the ball, top of the key, whirls on Newman, drives the lane, and misses the floater. The rebound is loose and goes out of bounds off either Malone or Boone. It will belong to Kentucky as Newman helps Boone to his feet, and Joe Mulaney agonizes on the Spirit bench. 86-69, the St. Louis lead is 17 with 1:50 to play in the third quarter. Joyce guarded by Lewis, gives it to Lucas. Luke holding it in three-point territory to Newman, top of the key. Guarded by Boone, throws it inside to Gilmore. His hook is up and no good, spins out. Rebound, Will Jones, ripped out of his hands by M.L. Carr. Protects the ball in the crowd, waits for the traffic to clear, gives to Freddie. Brings it up court on the left against Kevin Joyce with the jumper. Bang! Freddie Lewis enjoying an excellent third period. He has scored 12 points in the quarter and 14 for the game. Lucas at the other end against Malone baseline, dishes it up high to Joyce. He drives the lane, dumps it off for Gilmore. A turnaround one-hander is no good, and Malone is there for the rebound. With 1:10, he flips it behind his back to Freddie Lewis. 88-69. Freddie brings it up with the Spirits back in front again by 19. Around CJ's screen to the foul line. Bumped by Gilmore, no foul call. In tight for Carr, hands back to Freddie, off the dribble, a whistle. 3-second violation against the Spirits. 58 seconds to play in the third period. The Spirits began the quarter with a 19-point lead. They now have a 19-point lead. So you'd have to say they'd be content with that. Newman way outside. Up high to Will Jones. Watched by Carr. Swings to Joyce. In tight for Gilmore. Back to Joyce. Off the baseline. Around Freddie. In tight. A reverse layup is good as he put it in with the left hand on a double pump. Nice move by Kevin Joyce. It comes with 37 seconds to play in the quarter. 88-71. A 17-point lead for the Spirits. Freddie Lewis along the left sideline. Kevin Joyce watching him. CJ coming out to set a screen, then walks away. CJ has the ball now on a high post. Gilmore is on him. 6 on the 24, and a whistle inside in the lane. And a Kentucky foul away from the ball. Could have been on Lucas. Wait for the announcement. It is on Lucas. That is 2 on him. The Colonels are not over the limit. It's Spirit ball from the side, and from right in front of us, Freddie Lewis will play it in with 20 seconds to play in the quarter, so the Spirits can hold for the final shot. Up by 17, 88-71. Boone looks up at the clock, shows 12 seconds now. High post to CJ, 8 seconds, 6 seconds as he dribbles against Gilmore, backs him down low, fakes, fadeaway jumper is in and out. But a 3-second violation was called against the Spirits. M.L. Carr apparently was in there too long. Joe Mulaney says, "I can't believe it," on the Spirit bench. TV viewers should have been able to read his lips there. Here is Lucas from the top of the key, hitting at the buzzer. Lucas hitting a running one-hander at the third quarter buzzer, so that may give the Colonels a lift. At the end of 3, 88-73, the Spirits by 15. This is Spirits of St. Louis basketball.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Colonels bring in a new forward tandem, Van Bredekoff and Thomas, flanking Gilmore, who remains at center. Their guards are Newman and Joyce as the fourth period begins. Spirits reinsert Randy Denton in place of Moses Malone. The guards are Mike Barr now as Boone gets a rest, and Freddie Lewis. Lewis staying in off the strong third period. The center is Caldwell Jones. And the forwards, Denton and M.L. Carr. The tip controlled by Kentucky. Now they trail by 15, 88-73, as we get a 3-second violation called against Artis Gilmore, called by Jack Madden about 5 seconds after Joe Mulaney began screaming, "He's in the lane, he's in the lane."
He's still in the lane.
And they called the 3-second violation. The ball belongs to the Spirits. Across the line comes Freddie, and checked by Kevin Joyce. He flips to M.L. Carr. ML to Mike Barr, left sideline, off the dribble against Newman. He flips cross-court to Denton. Randy on the baseline where he holds. Gives to ML, watched by Van Bredekopp. Back to Denton, slapped away by Thomas. Stolen by Joyce, and he double dribbled, trying to come out of the backcourt.
That play was made by ML, just making believe he was going to slap at the ball and bothering Kevin.
So the Spirits will inbound again. They lead by 15. Lewis into Mike Barr. 30 seconds gone by in the fourth. Barr drives, bounces to Carr. He bobbles, picks it up, cuts across the lane, throw it up on the run. Didn't drop, but a foul on the play. ML will be at the line for 2, fouled by Van Bredekopp, who picks up his third. The rebounding, interesting to note, in the third period. Only 10 for Kentucky and only 8 for the Spirits for 2 reasons. Both teams shooting very well in the quarter. The Colonels a respectable 15 of 28, 54%, and the Spirits on fire, 12 of 16 for 75%. But another factor in the relatively few number of rebounds is that the Spirits were guilty of 9 turnovers in the period against 3 for Kentucky. The free throws are split by M.L. Carr. He makes 1 out of 2. Spirits come back down now with the ball off a steal, and here is M.L. throwing in an impossible shot. M.L. Carr may not have the renown of an Irving or a Thompson, but he has put in some moves that would do both proud during the course of this season. Here is Gilmore hooking, and C.J. blocking, and they call him for goaltending. Score the goal for Artis Gilmore. 91-75. The Spirits lead by 16. Joe Mulaney up off the Spirit bench, yelling play number 10, and then Freddie Lewis barks it out as he quarterbacks the Spirit attack. Top of the key, CJ back to Lewis on the baseline. The jumper over Joyce is short, and Gilmore collects the carom. Looks for some help and finds Newman. Newman bounces to a driving Thomas, who lays it in. Thomas had trouble holding onto the ball, regained the handle and put it in. 91-77. The Spirit lead is down to 14 with 10:20 to play in the game. Freddie Lewis against Joyce. Downloaded Denton over Thomas. It's blocked away by Gilmore, and that's got to be goaltending. It is. And a foul. Goaltending and a foul. Denton is going to be at the line, and this could be a 3-point play. Let's pause for a moment.
Breakfast at McDonald's is a great way to start off your morning. Hot cakes and sausage, scrambled eggs and sausage, egg McKinds of juice and coffee. McDonald's in the morning. It's as natural as the sunrise.
Denton's free throw is good. A 3-point play for Randy. 94-77. Kevin Joyce stopping in the backcourt, hung up for a minute, throws it across the line where Gilmore hangs onto it, then gives to Newman. Newman on the dribble against Barr, jumps it up over him from the baseline. It spins in and out. Van Bredekopp follows, blocked by Jones, and a foul on CJ. Caldwell Jones draws only his second, which is fairly remarkable. He picked up his first on literally the first play of the game, a jump ball violation as the game began, and usually he draws a lot of fouls trying to defend against Gilmore. Of course, he has had some relief tonight from Denton, but that is still only the second foul on C.J., who went to 7 on Sunday against Kentucky.
I think part of that's because they really weren't going to Gilmore that much earlier in the game. He had that first foul before the clock ticked off the second.
And Radikoff makes them both. 94-79, Spirit lead is 15. Lewis being pressed as the Colonels put the pressure on, but he clears it out to Mike Barr. Barr on the dribble, around Newman, to the baseline, down low, in tight car, turnaround one-hander is an air ball, hit nothing, and it comes out to Kevin Joyce. He throws for Newman. Newman in the middle, whirling. Barr goes down, trying to draw an offensive, no call. Newman to Joyce, running one-hander is no good, spins out, and the rebound taken down inside of Gilmore by M.L. Carr. He backs away, waits for the coast to clear, and hands to Freddie. He gives it to Barr, and Barr brings it across. Mike now holding up in three-point territory. High post to C.J. Gilmore is on him. Off the lefty dribble, bounces to Lewis. Freddie taken by Gilmore, then left alone, lets it go. Yes, from 20 feet.
You know, we have now a 17-point lead with 9 minutes to go. It does not do to rush plays. We should run the play slowly, take a good shot. The clock's on our side, not Kentucky.
Newman threw it into Joyce. Lewis knocked it away, and Freddie thought that it went off Joyce's body and out of bounds, but Jack Madden says Colonel ball, Lewis touching it last. They inbound to Newman. He brings the dribble across at the foul line all the way, and he lays it in. Right down Broadway, Johnny Newman, former NCAA scoring champion. Played only one varsity season in college before coming out.
That was
into
tough.
the pros with Memphis. I'm sorry, go ahead, Arthur.
That was tough defense by Mike. He funneled him in the middle. Unfortunately, nobody picked him up.
Back the other way, Spirits with the ball. Caldwell Jones way up high, bounces to ML, watched by Van Bredekop. In the lane for Freddie, cutting through, and we get a foul as the pass is knocked away. Kevin Joyce drawing the personal, his second. Team foul 3, and Mike Barr will throw it in from right in front of us. 96-81, a 15-point Spirit lead with 8:38. Barr hands to Freddie. Lewis is played by Kevin Joyce, his former Indiana teammate. Freddie on the dribble. Freddie switching hands and popping the jumper. It is short this time, and the rebound is pulled down by Gilmore. Out near midcourt for Johnny Newman. Colonel's on the run. Newman's side of the lane where he pulls for the jump. It's good. Johnny Newman getting off the jump shot and making it 96-83. A 13-point Spirit lead with 8:10 to play in the game. Barr bounces to Jones. Side of the lane, Randy Denton, played by Thomas. Into the corner, M.L. Carr, 9 on the 24. He hands to Barr for the jump. Yes! Mike Barr from 17. And he has made a big contribution in this game. Newman front courts it on the dribble. Barr is playing the D. Newman right side for Van Bredekop. Inside Gilmore. Plenty of help, but Gilmore misses. Gonna say he hit it anyways. He went up in tight, but it spun off. He was surrounded by 4 orange shirts. That is what you call collapsing defense.
Well, the only way you can really stop him is to keep the ball away from him, and if you don't keep the ball away from him, you better help out.
Barnes comes in. Carr goes out. Marvin playing with 5 fouls. We got a foul on that last play as Gilmore missed, and it was against Randy Denton. Ron Boone now reports back in. And let's see if Barr or Lewis goes out. It is Freddie who will get the rest. Lewis played a fine third period and early portion of the fourth. And he is patted on the backside by Joe Mulaney as he sits down. Colonel's inbound, and Johnny Newman holds it way outside. Stutter step on Barr to the foul line for the turnaround. He got it. Johnny Newman can play some one-on-one.
Well, he uses his size well because Mike had him very tight.
He has played forward at various times during his career, going nearly 6'6". Marvin with the ball down the lane for the one-hander. He was hammered and a foul. Barnes going up in a crowd, and I think that the foul will go on Johnny Newman. It is. Barnes to the stripe. 7:25 remaining in the game. 9-5, so Marvin can help the Spirits reach the century mark if he makes them both and reestablish the 15-point lead. And the free throw at the back of the rim bounced straight up and fell through. That's what you call, according to Marvin, I'm sure, the good touch. Let's pause for a moment.
The great Buick dealers of Greater St. Louis invite you to test drive the St. Louis Sports Special, a full-size LeSabre V6 priced less than $49.94.
Marvin makes them both. At the other end, Joyce misses a driving one-hander, and the ball goes off the body of Ron Thomas as it is tipped underneath and out of bounds. So the Spirits get it back, up by 15, 100-85 on the front court. Marvin, 18-foot jumper, bang! 102-85. He has scored 27. Spirits have committed only 2 fouls in the quarter. Kentucky 4 already. So from this point on in, the Spirits have the bonus. Newman from 20. He had been riding a hot hand. This one goes off the back rim. Rebound taken by Jones. Into the front court, Mike Barr. Out of the corner. Foul line, Marvin. He fakes. He jumps. He hits. Rolled around the rim and fell in. Marvin now at 29, and the Colonels want to talk it over. 6:43 to play in the game, and the score. The Spirits 104. The Colonels 85, and this is Spirits of St. Louis basketball.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
The Spirits, who were 12 out of 16 in the third period, have hit on 6 out of 9 at the start of the fourth. So they are absolutely sizzling from the floor in the second half. And the Colonels have been able to make no headway at all. They started the second half down by 19. They are now down by 19, 105-85, 104-85, with 6:43 to play in the game.
The Colonels got to be going crazy because they scored, 55% last quarter. They're shooting 50% now, and we're still beating them. Part of that, obviously, we're hot. We're also taking the shots we should take. Mike Barr being open for a 15-foot jump shot, or Randy Denton, giving the men the shots that they know they can hit.
Artis Gilmore knows that he can hit inside, and he whirls for his patented one-footer and hits it. 104-87. The Spirit lead is 17 as Mike Barr brings the dribble to the front court. Steve Green has come in for the Spirits. Marvin Barnes going up for a jumper is stripped of the ball by Will Jones. Colonels start a break that is interrupted by Mike Barr, who knocked it away. 3-on-1 Spirit opportunity. Barr all the way to lay it in. He had Barnes and Denton down on the break, faked the pass, drew his man away, and put it in right-handed, switching the ball from the left hand. Barr has played a heck of a game. Way up top, Newman. Right sideline, Will Jones. He dumps it low for Gilmore. Back to Newman. Three-pointer in the air and in the bucket.
There's really no excuse for that. He's too good a shooter to let him take that shot.
5:50 to play, 106-90. Boone all the way, and he lays it up and no good. It is tipped in by Steve Green, but it won't count. We get a rebounding foul. Green is called for a rebounding foul as Boone made a fine move, but the shot just spilled off the rim for him. Booner not having one of his better scoring nights, but others more than taking up the shot. And Gilmore whirls inside for a dunk as the Spirits ask for a timeout. 106-92, and finally the Spirits do call the timeout. Mulaney was yelling timeout from the bench, but they brought the dribble to the front court first before Boone finally turned toward Jack Madden and asked to stop the clock. We have time with 5:28 to play in the game, and the Spirits up by 14, 106-92. And this is Spirits basketball.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Tonight's attendance in Louisville, 8,490. The Spirits have never won here at Freedom Hall. They have lost 11 times in succession, 5 times in the regular season last year, 3 times in the playoffs, and 3 times previously this year. Despite the fact that any number of those games were extremely close and could have gone either way, they are looking to break that jinx tonight, and they are well on their way to doing it. With 5:22 to play in the game now, up 106-92. Spirit ball after the timeout. Lucas and Abram have come back into the Colonel lineup. Ron Boone on the dribble to the foul line. Feeds off to Denton. Nice pass, and Randy dunks it. Boone could have popped the jumper, but he spotted Denton about 5 feet from the bucket on the baseline and threw a bullet to him. Boone has picked up at least 7 assists, and Denton gets the field goal as Gilmore whirls inside and flips it in. 29 now for Gilmore as he comes on late. Lucas took the ball away on the Spirit inbound. But Jack Madden says they never had control as they tried to throw it in. And we'll do the inbound play all over again. 4:56 to play in the game. Some perspiration accumulating in the lane down there. And the ball boy comes out with a towel to wipe it up. No, they're giving it to the Colonels. They give it to the Colonels. Lucas puts up a shot off the inbound. And we get a whistle from Jack Madden. It was Colonel Ball under the basket.
I think he said Johnny Newman was over the line when he threw the ball in.
Could well have been. So the teams fluffed consecutive inbounds plays, and it's just as if nothing happened. It belongs to the Spirits again. 108-94, they lead. A 14-point advantage. Side of the circle, Steve Green gives to Ron Boone, backs away from Newman. On the baseline, Denton hands to Marvin, puts it on the floor, fakes, feeds in the lane to Green off his hands and out of bounds. Green contends that Lucas touched it last. Joe Belmont was right there, though, on top of the play, and he made the proper call. Will Jones in the front court for Kentucky. Jones faking and flipping inside to Gilmore, who lays it in. Gilmore is going wild now, late in the third period and early in the fourth. 4:25 to play, 108-96. To within 12 come the Colonels. Barr, top of the key. Caldwell Jones is going to come back in and replace Randy Denton, as Mulaney is unhappy with Denton's defense during the past few minutes against Gilmore. Boone off the dribble to the baseline. He feeds to Marvin, who goes up in a crowd and hits. That move by Barnes is one he has patented. When a guy like Gilmore, is much bigger than he is, goes up and sticks the hand in his face. Here's Will Jones hitting inside to get it right back to Kentucky. Marvin simply pulls the ball back away from his body and throws it up around the body of the bigger man, as he did there. Here is Mike Corner, gives to Marvin, who scored 31, shake move, pulls up. Will Jones knocked it out of his hands and out of bounds, as the fans contend that Marvin shuffled his feet and should have been called for walking. Exit Denton, enter Caldwell Jones, and I believe that Mike Barr is going to go out and Freddie Lewis come in. Or maybe it will be Boone he will replace. They were about to throw it in before they let Freddie check in. And Mike Barr goes out, and he did his job more than adequately, much more than adequately. An excellent job.
He played well.
By Mike Barr. So now Marvin is set to throw it in, and does to Freddie Lewis. 3:40 to play in the game. Up high, Ron Boone. He is watched by Averett. Spirits have 6 seconds on the shot clock. Boone dishes off to Marvin, and an offensive foul as he sliced through. Offensive foul on Boone before he dished it off to Barnes. 4 on the Booner. 110-98 with 3.5 to play. The Colonels are down by a dozen, and they have the ball. Newman a behind-the-back dribble. He holds up. He looks for Gilmore. It was knocked out of his hands. He chases it to the corner and lets it go and hits. Newman thinks it was a three-pointer. Jack Madden says he was a step or so over the line, and it counts for 2. The lead is down to 10 with 3:10 to play. 110-100. Freddie Lewis says, let's slow it up. Averett looking for a steal, and Averett knocking it away and out of bounds. 3:04 to play in the game, and the Colonels making it interesting. Spirits looking to break a 3-game losing streak overall and an 11-game losing streak over 2 seasons at Freedom Hall. Boone at the foul line, gives to Marvin for the jump. Yes. Marvin Barnes is on fire. He has scored 33. Averett across on the left. Big hoop for moving Marvin. Newman in three-point territory. Low for Lucas. Lay it up. And it bounced around and fell in. They take it away because Gilmore, or are they going to count it? They're going to count it. I thought that Gilmore had hit the ball while it was on the rim, and they were calling basket interference. And Mulaney walks out near midcourt to tell just that to Jack Madden. And now they're going to reverse the call. Madden had held up 2 fingers and brought his arm down in that sweeping motion that indicates yes, and it counts. But now they say basket interference and take it away from Kentucky.
And that ball was going to drop in, too.
It would have dropped in for Lucas, but Gilmore interfered. 2:35 to play in the game. 112-100 Spirits. They have the ball. Lewis gives to Green. Steve to Boone. Left sideline against Newman. CJ with a screen. Booner with a dribble. Down low to CJ. Knocked away by Newman. Picked up by Boone. He fakes the jump. Gilmore knocked it away and stole it. They were going to be called for a 24-second violation anyway. And they do call it a 24-second violation. Actually, Gilmore had stolen it just as the clock ran out.
So it's
really academic.
There was a mismatch when Gilmore picked up Boone and CJ had Johnny Newman on him, and Ron couldn't get him the ball.
Triple teamed is Gilmore. He hits the shot, but they call him for throwing an elbow. An offensive foul on Artis Gilmore.
You know, I clearly remember losing. We were down here last Wednesday night just on that kind of play. Artis throwing the elbow, and it wasn't called.
2:08, 2:07, 2:06 as Lewis comes across. 112-100 St. Louis. Freddie on the dribble. 35 feet out. Averett trying to hawk the ball. Up high for C.J. Watched by Gilmore. C.J. on the dribble. 6 on the 24. He spins, he fires, he hits. And that should lock it up. 114 to 100 with 1:50. Averett accelerating in the front court. Boone on the D. Out to Newman. He wants to shoot a 3. He does shoot a 3. He misses the 3 by plenty, but it's picked up by Will Jones, and he misses a layup inside, and it's slapped out to Ron Boone. Spirits on the run. Boone throws out to Lewis, and now Freddie holds the ball and says this game is ours as the fans begin to file out, and they'll just waste the clock away. 125, the Spirits by 14. C.J. with the ball. Off the dribble. He is guarded by Gilmore. He wheels inside. He lays it in. It won't count. Offensive foul on Caldwell Jones. Let's pause for a moment.
Take time out for a tall, cold glass of Stag beer. An ice-cold Stag really hits the spot. You've got a good thing going Stag.
Okay. Averett missing as he is body bumped on the baseline. He shoots an air ball. No foul is called. 114 to 100. 105 to play in the game. A big road victory for the Spirits. Tomorrow night in Virginia, if they can get a win against the Squires, they will have won 2 in a row. Indiana has to play Denver tomorrow night, so maybe the Spirits can be as close as 3.5 when they come back on Friday night, ladies' night, against the Pacers to play Indiana, St. Louis. The Spirits will gain half a game here on the idle Indiana club, move to within 4.5. If they can beat Virginia and Denver beats the Pacers, they would be 3.5 back with the head-to-head confrontation coming up against Indiana. So the Spirits still very much alive in the playoff chase. Spirits commit a turnover, and the Colonels miss a shot, and the Spirits have the rebound. 114 to 100 with 28 seconds.
After our first game down here with Mulaney as coach, he promised our team we would never lose down here again. He coached this team once, said, I know him, I know how to beat him. We did lose to them last Wednesday, but his prophecy's coming true. We've won tonight.
Foul on Caldwell Jones, his second consecutive offensive foul in the last minute, but only his 4th of the game, which means that when the issue was in doubt, he committed but 2 fouls. Newman comes across in the lane. Gilmore, they'll let him go, and he dunks it. 114 to 102. C.J. asks for a timeout as the Spirits have difficulty getting the ball in. So with 14 seconds to play in the game, a game that is already over, the Spirits stop the clock, up by 12 at 114 to 102. And once again, we want to remind you that after the Spirits play tomorrow in Virginia, a game we will radio broadcast out of Norfolk, they come back on Friday, ladies' night, at the arena in St. Louis. Game time is 8 o'clock against the Indiana Pacers, a must-win situation for the Spirits. It is ladies' night. All the women can get into $3 and $5 seats for half price, and at halftime, there will be a free throw shooting contest wherein each lady who wishes to participate will take 1 foul shot, and if they hit the shot, they will receive $50 in gifts, courtesy of the Spirits. So you can see an excellent game, get in for a bargain price, and maybe walk off with $50 worth of prizes. So an excellent opportunity to come on out on a Friday night, beginning at 8 o'clock to the arena in St. Louis as the Spirits take on the Indiana Pacers.
And those Indiana games are always such fun because of the kind of basketball they play. They run, they hustle, and fun games to watch.
It is something to see Indiana come down on a 2-on-2 break, and Keller pulls up and shoots from 30. They are a wild club.
And yet it works for them. It's the kind of basketball that wouldn't work for anyone else, but it works for them because that is their style.
I'll tell you, Bobby Leonard, although his club may finish 5th, I think is a strong contender for Coach of the Year honors, because in the consolidated ABA, every team has so much talent, and Indiana really ranks near the bottom of the talent list, and yet they're playing better than 500 basketball, with only Billy Knight qualifying as a genuine star on that club.
I think Don Boosie might take exception to that.
Well, he made the All-Star team, but I mean, he's not a super talent. He is just the kind of player that plugs away, gives you 100%, and plays the real good D. The Spirit ball with 14 seconds. They have already locked this one up. Newman leaning on Boone. 8 seconds. Boone gets off a shot, and he got it. 116 to 102 with 5 seconds, with 3 seconds. Averett thinking three-pointer, letting it go and missing it. And the game is over. The Spirits have won for the first time ever at Freedom Hall in Louisville. On the television side, we will be leaving. On the radio side, we will be back for a wrap-up. So those of you viewing on TV, thanks for being with us. And don't forget, Ladies' Night Friday against the Pacers beginning at 8 o'clock. And we'll be back with a radio wrap-up after this. Either way, this is Spirits of St. Louis basketball.